Welcome to Raymond Castile's Basement of Horror. This is going to be sort of a mini episode because as I was packing up the A-highs, I realized there was something else in the box that I had not gone over. And these are not A-highs, so it didn't really go with the theme of that other episode, but it's in the box. So if it's in the box, we're going to talk about it. These are weird. These are called hangups. They are clothes hangers. You hang your clothes on them. And this one is obviously Christopher Lee's Dracula. These were made in 1978, and apparently the name of the company is Hangups. See if we can get that on there. There we go. Hangups made a lot of different pop culture characters, but of concern to me, of course, is a series of 3 monsters. This is Dracula, and he doesn't seem to have any Hammer copyright. Let's check the next one. This is the Wolfman. Interestingly, it's not the Hammer Wolfman. It's the Universal Studios Wolfman. Lon Chaney Jr. instead of the Oliver Reed Wolfman. And it does not have a Universal Studios trademark. It just says Hangups. Covered by one or more patents within the USA as well as Canada. Other worldwide patents pending. All rights reserved, copyright 1977, made in USA, but it says 1978 copyright on the front and 1977 on the back. The third one is the Mummy. And that's obviously Boris Karloff as the Mummy. And this does not have a universal copyright either. These are made of plastic, very thin, flimsy plastic. And they have a little holder there. So you could put them in your closet. Put your favorite clothes on there and hang them in your closet. And I think the reason these are universal and this is Hammer is because Bela Lugosi's son, Bela Jr., was very litigious, and he either threatened or actually filed lawsuits against Aurora and Don Post and several other companies in the 60s and 70s, all the way to the present day, really. He's still alive and still at it. I've met him. He's a nice guy. But he's very protective of his father's legacy and intellectual property. And I think that the Hangups company just figured, because it had gotten around the toy industry, don't mess with Bela Jr. He'll sue you. And Universal contended that they owned the rights to the images of the monsters in their movies. They owned the characters and the images, including the actor likenesses. And Bela Jr. said, no, it's separate, that the actor likeness is one license, and then the character design is another license. And this went to court, and at one point, I think in the late 70s, Bela lost. The court ruled in favor of Universal, and then it flipped over again. And the way it stands now is that the heirs to the actors like Karloff, Lugosi, Chaney, the estates own those actor likenesses, and Universal Studios owns the character design. So if you want to make a Frankenstein with a flat head, scar, bolts on the neck, that's Universal, and that's the character design. You have to get a Universal license. But if you want it to look like Boris Karloff, instead of just generic, that's a separate license. If you want to look like Lon Chaney Jr. or Bela Lugosi or Glenn Strange, the different actors who played Frankenstein in the Universal movies, those are all separate actor likenesses. And then the Universal character design likeness is a separate license. And over the years, there's been a lot of battles between the heirs and Universal, and it's gone back and forth. And sometimes the studio and the heirs have a good relationship, and you get some licensed merchandise that has the actor likenesses. And other times they're at war, and you get generic stuff for several years. But that's a whole other topic. But I think that's why you have a Hammer Dracula instead of a Bela Lugosi Dracula. I guess Hammer and Christopher Lee just were never very litigious. Not like Bela Jr. So they figured if they're going to rip off someone, they'll rip off Christopher Lee and Hammer Studios instead of Bela Lugosi. And why Universal didn't go after him for these, I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Hangups made a lot of other characters. I don't know all the different characters they made, but not just monsters. They made a lot of different pop culture characters. The only ones I would care about, obviously, are the monsters. So they're an interesting little novelty item that just happened to be in the same box as the Ahais. That's all I have to say about them. So thank you for watching this little episode of Raymond Castile's Basement of Horror.